Okay, here we go. Good morning and welcome to the Fareymount Steam Railway. As you'll be aware, the COVID-19.2 pandemic has left detrimental effects on the whole world, and heritage railways such as ourselves have not been immune to the impact. However, here we have some video footage of how we've been coping during lockdown. We hope this will prove to you that, in these difficult times, we are once again acting as a most model railway. As you'll see, it isn't all fun and games, so we highly encourage you to follow the links in the description to show your support. Here we go back to mid-March, and we see some of our top-class, world-renowned and trip-advised steam trains doing what they do best, steaming and pulling trains. At this stage, everything was normal as a man called Norman, and little did we know about the panic that was just around the corner. I can recall warning my staff very early on to wear gloves, do what my nephew refers to as a dab if they should decide to sneeze, and only come into work if they were willing to sacrifice themselves for the sake of the railway. I am very proud that 99.999% of my loyal staff stayed on to help keep the wheels turning. All except Clive. But even I could not tell how quickly things would turntable for the worst, and in early April it was no fool's joke that our beautiful engines were locked away in the shed, 2 meters apart of course. I know many of you enthusiasts were concerned about the locos falling into rust and decay, but we'd like to assure you that the rust you occasionally see on our engines is in fact acrylic paint, which has deliberately been applied to give an authentic look to these well looked after machines. Very soon, vegetation started generally managing the railway instead of me, as Mother Nature messed with our railway like it was just a train set. Clive was supposed to come in with the lawnmower before it turned into a jungle. All hope seemed to have been lost, but the railway was not ready to kick the bucket just yet. Our younger volunteers were simply desperate to return to the railway. What they found upon arrival at the sheds was that some of the engines had received minor vandalism, and a swarm of bees had made a nest in one of the smoke boxes. Unfortunately, this was discovered the hard way, but we would like to remind our junior fitter Jim that thankfully the bees have been smoked out once a fire had been lit, and that he should return to us as soon as the hospital release him. After I invested heavily in CV 19.2 safety stickers, PPE and OWS within the MPD, the first stage of revival was to conduct steam tests and FTRs to our working locos. All priority is for the smaller engines to take centre stage. Terrier class number 735 was therefore the first to return to action. It's out with the corridor stock and back with the compartment coaches to force social distancing measures upon our paying passengers. We hope that running our older engines and coaches together, such as this set of four-wheelers currently present, we will encourage fans of the past to come back to us in the future. Meanwhile, our saddle tank, dressed as a Doubt Percy, is sent up the line as a test dummy to make sure the track is still there. The Lusworth Terrier is then seen leaving for Fareymount, with members of the railway posing as passengers on the first post-lockdown test train. We didn't hear back from the green saddle tank, but later that evening the Terrier returned. The inspector revealed to us that the test was satisfactory, and that we may take the train out tomorrow. 178 is seen being prepared for the following weekday test train, for members and local residents only. We put our pug on the quayside platform as a static display for visitors, but no touching. No touching. It also acts as an additional buffer stop should the driver become distracted. However, it's not just our passenger services that are returning, as the railway is of vital importance to the local towns in delivering goods. Our pannier tank was already en route from the other end of the line with a milk train. Following a more successful day of running, I very bravely decided to schedule our reopening for the following week. Myself and a flurry of volunteers worked tirelessly to restore order to our little railway, and get our smaller engines and coaches back to fully working order. Having travelled far and wide for publicity during the lockdown, number 55 was in a worn out and rather sandy state. Chicken droppings were found in the sand boxes. With remedial work to be conducted, the Society voted that the opportunity be taken to temporarily repaint Stepney into 32635 Morden, the later Brighton Works shunter. Our attention then turned to the 2MT. Once this had passed its tests and got a C or above, it was run in by clearing the yard of goods wagons, and later heading works trains. Two sections of track were needed to be replaced because they had buckled in the summer heat. Clive was instructed to go out to check the track during the summer, but failed to do so. At last, the day of our reopening opened. Celebrations included a double-headed train at the cost of 2p, a guest appearance from the Mayor's Secretary, and a live presentation on the platform about the life and times of Elvis Presley. Of course, nobody turned up on the day, as Clive was most unfortunately unable to deliver on the marketing front line. We'll leave you now with some highlights from the day, and beg you to come back to us, please. If you enjoyed this video, let us know if you'd like to see more in the future, and please show your support to the heritage railways in this strange year. Goodbye. Oh, my throat.
big thank you to all of our Patreon supporters, particularly Alex Goodman, GBH Train, Donald 9 and Douglas 10, D0280 Falcon, and Sean Tempest.